Martin, Asian. Hi, nice to speak to you. How are you
Good
doing?
to speak to you. Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Congratulations on the movie. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, awesome.
So, I mean, the first thing I want to ask you is, Marty,
Sorry, that's my dog. Shh. Think the mailman's might be here. Okay, sorry.
I understand that you, and knowing that you were going into this movie, you were already I was watching an interview that you said you were a Jason Blum fangirl. So, I mean, what was it like going into a film knowing that you were working for this guy after kind of this was kind of a dream job for you, no?
Yes, it was very much a dream job, but it was also very intimidating. I love movies like Insidious and Conjuring and just have watched them over and over and over. And to actually be in the presence of people who have been a part of that was just like, oh my God, am I ready? Am I even worthy of this? But everything I've done in my life was to prepare for this moment. And so realizing that I have every right to be here, it was like it almost matched the story, finding that strength within yourself to be like, yes, I belong to be a fighter. I belong to be a director. I belong here. It's a dream come true.
I mean, so you said it's kind of overwhelming at first, but I imagine very quickly, everything fell into place, no? Especially with
Oh
having
my
Jason
God.
Blum as your safety nets, you can't ask for much more.
Yes, I mean, it all happened really fast. I was pitching for another movie for Amazon, and they were like, we're looking for directors on this series. And they gave me the script. I read it like twice before I pitched on it, found out at the end of the week that I got it, and flew out the next week, and we were in production. So, we only had a month to prepare, and it was just like hit the ground running. It all happened very, very fast.
In a way, that's kind of the best way to go about it. Not even time to think about it, just
Just
dig
go.
in and do it. I just go with the flow, yeah. And what,
Yeah.
what about Asia? How did you get involved in this? What was it that attracted you to it? Because to me, I don't know if you agree with me, it felt kind of like Carrie meets Blade with a female lead. Would you kind of picture it
Ooh,
like that,
I
maybe?
haven't heard
Yes.
that. That's so cool. What originally like drew me to the material was honestly Shauna's insecurities and the theme of colorism in the movie. That is
Yeah.
something that was like very close to home. That's what I dealt with growing up, and I just felt like it was a younger version of myself when I was reading it. So that's what originally like drew me to it. How I got involved, I got an audition, and I booked it, and I was like, yay! That's pretty much how it was. Even though it was interesting because at the time, the director session with Marty was through Skype. And I remember I was so nervous because this was pre-pandemic, so things weren't virtual. And I was like, how are we going to do this over Skype? Is she going to get the fuel for me? Like, how is this going to be? And I remember we talked about Beyonce and times. And it was such a great time. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be great.
You didn't show nerves at all. That was amazing. Because like when you
Really?
audition, it was like, oh, whatever. Like I do this all the time, and like whatever. Like that's what I know. I was like, oh, she's so confident, and just like she can move into vulnerability and confidence, and like within the same breath. I'm like, yep, it's her.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like with Shauna, I did feel because she felt so close to me, I did feel confident like being her. Like that wasn't much
Yeah.
of I felt confident being her, but I was nervous with just the whole Skype thing. It was just very
Yeah.
like off to me, and I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna work. What if my shit fails? Like I'm gonna have to do it again. What if it's like slow? I'm like, I don't know. But it was great. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the director session like literally it was yesterday.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Well,
crazy.
just one more thing on that. Like Zoom actually is a really good way to audition because it's exactly how you're going to see a person on screen. Sometimes when you're in the room, it's like you can feel an energy that feels really exciting, almost theatrical. But once you actually see it recorded and on a screen, it's like they were too big. But when you see it here, like all the intricacies of like how your face moves, this is the best representation for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, Asia, you said there that you really kind of you felt identified with your character in this film, no? I believe, Marty, that you really kind of let the younger cast kind of bring themselves as much as possible to the roles. No, did you kind of give them a free leash and let them kind of play around with the script a little bit, or was it more kind of sticking to the script but bringing kind of other things to their roles?
Well, the connection between Asia and Fabrizio, I think, was very, very real. One of my favorite things to do that I did as an actor was like this game where you ask like the most personal questions. And I kind of like gave them this list of questions that pretty much unveils who you are as a person, and you can become extremely vulnerable and know each other at a very, very fast pace. And so when I first met with them in New Orleans, we all met up together, kind of did like our, introductions. And then I gave them the list of questions and let them kind of answer that within themselves. And after the next day I saw them, they were just like best buds. Like it was kind of like amazing, because I think that connection is so important. You see it on the screen, and they became like the whole group of their friends were just like on and off screen, like loved each other. And it really just added so much to the story to see that connection.
Oh, what is that?
I got attacked.
Oh my God. Are you
by a group of homeless vampires.
It was so organic. It was like, I was actually going to bring that up, and when she did that, a director has never done that before, like with me and Cass. And I remember me and Fab were just like, it was so beautiful because it kind of just forced us to just not be on the surface. Like we just really went there with each other. And honestly, it allowed us to trust each other more on set. Like we knew that we had the best intentions for each other and for our characters. And it was just a really like warm environment because of that, because Marty did that for us.
I'm very curious about the actual seed of the project as a whole. I mean, Sherman, obviously there's very different themes there. We talk about the hurricane, we talk about kind of this area where there's all these problems with drugs and these kind of things. What was the initial seed that created the story? Did he want to create a vampire story? Because I know he'd been working on it for about 10 years or so, no? Or did he was it actually kind of the drug problem in the area? Was that what kind of made him decide to write a vampire story?
Thanks for doing your research. He wrote this around 10 years ago, and he lived in New York for a while, and the story was actually centered in New York. But the script had been passed around to like every studio. People loved his writing, but it just wasn't the right timing. And when it hit Blumhouse, it was a perfect timing because the world has been waiting for a story like this that, marketing and stats would say like, okay, to have a Black girl as the lead is unheard of, and we're not going to support that. But now the world has been changing, and now it's like, yes, we do want to hear the story. It's perfect timing for this. And so he had to change the story to fit New Orleans because all of the episodes were shot there. But it was actually perfect. Honestly, the problems that New Orleans is dealing with is a representation of our whole world, of our country and the issues that we're facing. And so Hurricane Katrina is just a little microcosm of the issues that Black people have been suffering in just that little incident, and it's reflective of their whole experience. So, yeah.
Okay. Something else, in interviews that you did on the red carpet the other day, a lot of people were bringing up the Twilight saga, which I really kind of didn't understand why they were bringing that up. I mean, I'm thinking more of things like The Lost Boys, and then there's obviously kind of Black vampire movies like Vampire in Brooklyn, Blade, Ganja and Hess, things like that. Those must have been more kind of your reference points now when you came to make this film, no?
Well, I think that maybe the other people that are referencing just things that they've seen. Also, it's like a young girl who's experiencing like what it is to be a young woman and all the feelings and experiences that you have. But for me personally, I did draw from things like 30 Days of Night and Interview with a Vampire. I like the darkness. And so I wanted to bring those in. And then all the issues that she deals with as a young woman, that's just personal, like that's just something that I already know, and I don't need to take it from other films. But the darkness I needed to bring in to this film.
So I mean, just to finish up the running out time.
I bring up Twilight. That's because I don't watch scary movies. So you have to bring up like vampire movies. Like there are vampires in Twilight. There's vampires in the Vampire Diaries. There was, that Twilight was scary to me. Okay, so I bring up that.
I love it.
I was dealing with vampires.
I love it.
So listen, we're running out of time. So just one last question. Obviously, I don't want to give anything away, but we're left on quite a cliffhanger towards the end, which could mean we could see some kind of spin-off or a sequel or something. I'd love to see the characters that you've created somewhere else. Is that something that you've thought about?
Oh my God, yeah. I thought about it. The first time I read it, I was like, I can't wait. We can like write I can't say whose character, but we could go into that. We could go into the other guys who we go into an animation backstory. I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's just so many different ways that we could take it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Asjha and Maritte. I wish you the best of luck with the film when it comes out soon, and hopefully speak to you about this sequel, spin-off, or whatever sometime really soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks very much. Take care.